It was late Friday. Lawmakers were about to wrap up session when several bills were added to the session agenda. One of those bills is controversial Bill 20. The measure would tax gaming devices that were the subject of a 5-year-old lawsuit and divert the revenue to the Guam Memorial Hospital. Senators Friday night argued over whether it was germane to the bill's original version. Speaker Won Pat ruled that it was in fact non-germane. Senator Dennis Rodriguez Jr. then motioned to vote to overrule her ruling. The vote was 7-7 because Senator Arlene Yamashita was absent at the time. However, when she returned, Senator Rory Respicio motioned to reconsider the vote on the issue of non-germaneness. Won Pat, however, said the vote had already been taken. Debate ensued and Speaker Won Pat recessed session until Saturday morning. Like the night before, session erupted into argument over the rules and whether they were being used to suppress discussion on Bill 20.
If we cannot, in this House, this body of legislators, cannot have any rules of decorum or any respect for any rules, then we are really a sad body of legislators.
Madam Speaker, I as chairman on rules, I want to say that right now, based on your ruling and your actions, we're operating under the guise of jungle rules, and I'm asking that we instill some order to our own standing rules.
A motion to reconsider can only be made by a member who voted on the prevailing side of the question.
There was seven yeas and 7 noes, so which one was the prevailing side?
We are not supposed to be procedurally tying ourselves into knots so that we cannot function. This is an embarrassment.
The legislature eventually agreed to move on with the agenda, with the commitment from the Speaker to discuss Bill 20 after the remaining items on the agenda were disposed of. Senators would then debate Bill 87, which would establish a helmet law for Guam. After that was moved to the third reading file, Bill 19 was up for debate. The bill would capture license fees and taxes from gaming operators, including the GNOC lottery. The revenue would go to renovations to sporting facilities. The measure was introduced by Senator Chris Duenas and co-sponsored by B.J. Cruz and Tommy Morrison. During discussion Saturday afternoon, an interesting twist as Senator Michelson Nicholas, in a move to once and for all settle the issue of gambling on Guam, introduced an amendment to ban all forms of gambling and gaming in the territory.
All or nothing, Madam Speaker, all in.
The amendment passed initially until Senator Tina Muñoz Barnes called for reconsideration of the vote.
I do know that the unintended consequences are even bigger than all of us in here.
Because she changed her vote.
Is that it's now 7 yeas and 8 nays, so the amendment failed.
Immediately after, Senator Dennis Rodriguez Jr. introduced an amendment to merge provisions in Bill 20 into Bill 19, setting off more debate on procedures.
It taxed revenues on gaming devices, gaming activities, and diverting it into specific causes.
I'm going to rise to a point of order. I don't think this amendment's germane to Bill 19.
There is a motion then to overrule the chair's decision on the non-germaneness of this amendment. So those then who would like to overrule the chair's decision, please raise your hand. The motion carries.
Session would then end abruptly as Speaker Won Pat announced she would recess session until July 1st after she, along with several of her colleagues, returned from a trip to Hawaii to attend the Association of Pacific Island Legislatures General Assembly.
On Monday, July 1st,
Madam Speaker, objection.
While most thought that session ended at 7:30 Saturday night, 9 lawmakers returned to the session hall at 9 p.m., unhappy with the actions of Speaker Won Pat.
There was a sua sponte attempt by the chair to recess this legislature till July 1st, and there was an objection that was raised. More than one person objected, and the presiding officer did not acknowledge that objection. And so, Madam Speaker, the fact that you see 9 members of the legislature still staying here at 9 p.m., I think it's a strong statement to the people that we are not wanting to be forced to operate under a jungle rules type of environment, and that we want the rules to be followed.
The 9 voted for session to resume at 9 a.m. Monday morning.